Can somebody please explain to me how it is already October? Salutations! Welcome to Lowering the Language of Literacy. My name is Sophia Lee, and today I'll be sharing with you my most anticipated releases for October 2015. First up, we have a book coming out on the 6th of October from an author who made a very large splash with their debut, which was Say What You Will by Cami McGovern, which dealt with two topics we don't normally hear about, OCD and cerebral palsy. Cami McGovern dives right back into topics that we need to hear more about in young adult fiction, titled A Step Toward Falling, which deals with these three main characters who I believe are the ones who have the alternating point of views, Belinda, Lucas, and Emily. One night, Emily witnesses Belinda getting attacked. The catch is Emily doesn't report it, and Belinda has developmental disabilities. Miraculously, she escapes it, but when the entire high school finds out Emily was there that night, they obviously are pointing the finger at her. However, this guy named Lucas was also there, and the two of them have to serve for community service at a home for people who have developmental disabilities themselves. They gain a lot of insight and develop a lot as characters, but the thing is, they still need to apologize to the person that they hurt in the first place, which is Belinda. Personally, I wasn't wowed with it, and I had a lot of problems with Say What You Will by Cami McGovern, but I'm always willing to give an author a second chance, especially one who is so brave and daring as to deal with these sorts of topics, and I'm so excited to see what she does with her second novel. The next book is one that I'm sure the entire BookTube community has been waiting for, coming out on the 6th of October as well, and that is The Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan. This follows Boston native and loner Magnus Chase, who is somehow related to Annabeth Chase, wink wink, from the Percy Jackson series. One day, this mysterious man, who apparently his mother hated, tracks him down and tells him that he is the son of a Norse god. Apparently, he has to search the 9 worlds for a weapon that's been lost for thousands of years, no surprise whatsoever there. I'm guessing it's called The Sword of Summer, since that's what it's titled, and he has to decide what it means as well as to become a hero. At this point, he's dealt with Greek, Roman, and Egyptian mythology. Why not add Norse? I personally don't know much about it. I know a lot of other people don't as well, and I'm so excited to see these myths in the entirely new light that Rick Riordan brings to them. Then we have a book coming out on the 13th of October by an author which is one of my all-time favorites, as well as being the sequel to The Young Elites by Marie Lu, which is of course The Rose Society. If you don't know, this book follows an anti-hero named Adelina Aventura, who after surviving this thing called the blood fever, becomes this thing called a young elite who has miraculous powers. There are very few like them, and pretty much everyone in their Renaissance-esque fantasy-like world just absolutely despises them and wants them all dead. The first book follows her spiral into darkness, and while she has been exposed to other people of her kind as young elites, as well as been rejected and thrown out by her own family, she decides to forge her own path and become who she is meant to be. While I know the actual meaning for the Rose Society having a big wolf on its cover, I do think it would have been nice to have some sort of, rose, but whatever. Then we have another book coming out on the 13th, which is the sequel to high fantasy novel Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Roche, which is Ice Like Fire. Obviously, both of these covers are absolutely gorgeous. I loved Snow Like Ashes. It was an extremely fast-paced, really good book for getting you out of a reading slump, following this wonderful fantasy world premise where each kingdom is 4 different seasons, and there are the in-between ones where it's all seasons all year round. It's kind of hard to explain, but the gist is the main character is associated with the few surviving members of Winter because all have been wiped out by the other ones, and there's a lot of political intrigue as well as just kickassery, and it's generally a really fun adventure. Also coming out on the 13th is Weird Girl and What's His Name by Megan Brothers, which apparently follows best friends Lily and Rory in small town Hawthorne. Rory has always been free with his sexuality and his preference towards Lula, but at the point at which the story starts, he's been quite mysterious and keeping secrets from her. Lula, on the other hand, has been questioning her own sexual orientation and just identity in general, so one day she just runs away and the story takes off from there. I'm very intrigued to see which direction the story goes, and just because there's the LGBT aspects of it, as well as the classic young adult trying to find yourself, which really doesn't get old because every teenager experiences the same thing. Coming out on the 20th is a book that has received so much pre-publication hype, and that is Illuminated by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This book is set in 2575 on a planet that is currently being invaded by rival corporations. It follows main characters Katie and Ezra, who right before the attack, their biggest problem was the fact they broke up with each other, and the next day, of course, their planet's being taken over, so they're made to combine forces when this deathly plague strikes, and the catch of the story is it is told in just a bunch of secret government documents. If you haven't seen any excerpts from it, there's a bunch of just blacked out writing and charts and graphs and images, and it's just an extremely interesting way to tell a story in this new multimedia platform that I know a lot of books are just taking on little bits and pieces of nowadays. The next book is one coming out also on the 20th of October, and that is Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Godden. I've already read it. This is obviously an art copy. It's made my top 15 books of 2015. It absolutely just blew my mind. It follows an alternate universe where Hitler won the war. Every year to commemorate this, an annual Axis tour is held on motorcycles from one end of Europe to the other end of Asia. This follows a girl named Yal who actually escaped from a concentration camp and has the ability to shapeshift into different people and has to impersonate the previous year's victor in order to hopefully win and get close to Adolf Hitler. It has a lot of historical speculative aspects to it that I absolutely loved. The character Yal reminds me of my all-time favorite female protagonist, June Ypres from the Legend trilogy. She's just so strong and kick-ass, and all the side characters are important and somehow made unique. I would highly recommend it. I read The Walled City earlier this year as well, and Ryan Grodin is definitely a new, fresh young adult voice to keep your eye out for. Tell me in the comments below what books you're looking forward to this month, what books you think have been overhyped that are coming out this month, and what books coming out this month you think deserve more love. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Keep calm, read on, and I'll see you really soon. Goodbye! If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and leave me a comment below. And if you liked it even more, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. All my social media like Twitter, Snapchat, Tumblr, and Instagram is around my face at @SLSBooks, and my previous videos are below me.